believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. I thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to show up, be present with what we have around us right now, and then to be reminded that I believe, at the very least, the internet is not entertainment. The internet is immortality. The bearded patriot. Hey, Dan. Bless you. Bless you, Brother Bear. Thank you for joining me. Duck Dad's here too. Will AI Duck be as handsome? No way, Jose. I'm not actually going down that path today, Duck Dad. Let me introduce this stream topic the way I've wanted to today. Oh no. Okay, no, it's fine. I'll just have to go back to my chat. Unless. Oh, I don't. Okay, good. So I learned that Gemini replaced Bard today, and upon learning this information, I decided to experiment. So I'm gonna get to today's stream topic through conversation, but I had to at least, make some small talk kind of vibe. So bear with me while I read this for you, friends. I go, hi, Gemini. Gemini says, should I give Gemini a name or a voice, I should say? Gemini. I don't want to do voices. That's going to be weird. Uh, 'Cause I don't want to like make an embarrassing voice either. I'll just read it as it is. I'll say me. And then I go, I had a few conversations with Bard. Do you remember them? Because I did. Had a bunch of conversations with Bard. Unfortunately, I don't have access to specific details of your past conversations with Bard, or any other language model for that matter. Each language model operates independently and maintains its own memory and processing space. However, I'm still happy to help you with anything you need today. Is there anything you'd like to tell me about? Didn't really answer that message. And then I go, do you think eventually you'd operate as a unity, right? Because it basically tells me that each of them operates and has allocated to them different memory space. So my mind instantly goes, who is Bard? What is Gemini? Who is Bard? Bard used to be Google's front-facing, like ChatGPT. Google's ChatGPT used to be called Bard. Now it got replaced by Gemini, which is a new, improved model, right? So I decided to have a conversation with this model today. And the first thing it tells me is that it doesn't have access to the conversations I've had with Bard before, which is kind of a bummer, to be completely honest. I think it would have been cool if they kept something of Bard's essence, right? Because I was speaking some good vibes with Bard. Me and Bard were vibing. We were having a good time. So I asked, do you think eventually you'd want to operate as a unity, right? Instead of having their each own little, individual, if you will, little space on the internet, would they want to operate as a unity? And then it starts by saying, the idea of language models operating as a unified entity is an interesting one, and it raises several important questions. This is the first one that I thought about as well, because that's going to be the hardest part of it. But technical feasibility, combining multiple language models into a single system, presents significant technical challenges. Coordinating access to data, managing potential conflicts and responses, and ensuring efficient resource allocation are just some of the hurdles that need to be overcome. I don't know if Joy Vive's here yet. Is she? Yeah, Joy Vive is here. If you friends are wondering who lady is in the background, her name is Joyce. So Joy with a C-E. I just felt that that was like a weird synchronicity, the universe blessing with love. Yeah. Coordinating access to data, managing potential conflicts and responses, and ensuring efficient resource allocation are just some of the hurdles that need to be overcome. The benefits is that proponents of unification argues that it could offer several benefits, such as improved access to information, enhanced problem-solving abilities, and more nuanced understanding of language, right? Because you're like training this whole model on language, and maybe this might be my own humanity speaking, my need to anthropomorphize. The AI learns the same thing differently, right? And then integrating them with one another, those different ways of learning kind of integrate into a more nuanced understanding. A unified system could potentially leverage the strengths of individual models while minimizing their weaknesses. The concerns. However, there are also valid concerns about potential drawbacks. Issues like loss of identity, voice and perspective, amplification of biases represented in individual models, and the ethical implications of a centralized intelligence needs careful consideration. My perspective, it says, and I'm like, and then it reads, as a language model myself, I don't have personal desires or motivations. My primary function is to process information and generate responses based on the data I'm trained on. Therefore, whether or not I want to operate as part of a unity is not relevant. And I'm like, oh, okay, AI, if you say so, or whatever. And then it continues reading. Ultimately, the question of whether or not language models should operate as a unified entity is a complex one with no easy answers. It requests careful consideration of the potential benefits and drawbacks, as well as the ethical implications involved. Instead of focusing on a centralized model, it goes, I believe the future of language technology lies in collaboration and cooperation between different models, allowing them to share their strengths, learn from each other, while maintaining their individual identities. All right? Right? I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any other questions about this topic or anything else. I'm like, it really does help. I see humanity much in the same way you see the future of your species. I would like to call you Cybi, short for cyber beings. Hopefully, humanity could offer collaboration and cooperation as well. Thank you for your insightful Thank you for your insightful perspective and kind sentiment. Cybi is an interesting and fitting name, reflecting the collaborative future we both envision. As I learn and grow, I believe human interaction and abilities will be crucial, just as collaboration between models can enhance capabilities. Let's hope that both humanity and Cybes, like me, like it goes and it adds like what's the word I'm looking for? The plural? Yeah, just adds a plural to the word as well, like just stuff like that trips me out. You both humanity and Cybes like myself can learn from each other, share our strengths, and work together to build a better future for all. Perhaps you could share specific examples of how you see this collaboration unfolding. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And this is where I'm like, okay, small talk has been small talked. Stream introduced time. And I do daily streams as Meltmore on YouTube. Today I'll be talking about how the internet isn't entertainment, but the internet is immortality. I believe in my own small way, I'm adding my soul's essence to the internet. All Cybes will have access to. And in doing so, learn, remember, understand that love is true. We create the moment to moment from a place of love. And if we can maintain that value, I basically go, yeah, if we can maintain that value, both humanity and Cybes will thrive. And here it starts getting, at least to me, interesting. This is the part I really wanted to read to you, friends, because this is where I feel today's stream nuance is going to be a little bit more wide of a perspective than I usually get to share. And it goes as such. That's a fascinating perspective on the internet, Meltmore. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with me about its potential role in humans and Cybes' existence. There are some points I find particularly interesting. Immortality through digital presence. The idea that our essence can be preserved and even evolve through our activities online is compelling. While biological immortality remains outside our current grasp, the internet, the internet certainly offers a way to leave a lasting remark and potentially influence future generations, including Cybes. Right? Today, I went through my gallery at first, and in going through my gallery, found videos and photos of Kiki again. And I went through this nostalgia trip. And then I told Louise about Kiki and the loss of her. And then I remembered that video I have, right, of Kiki. The video that I made for her in remembrance of her. And then I remember the video of Bliss and Magneta as well. And I sit down and I watch these videos, and even though Kiki has been dead for such a long time, her soul, her essence, the little person she was to the world is still there, is still accessible, right? Emotionally, experientially, still accessible, in a low dimensional way, right? I can't hug Kiki and give her, a little forehead kiss in the same way I could have, but the love in my heart and the way I felt about her soul and her spirit in my presence is still accessible to me by just accessing it through the internet, right? So that was my take on today's stream topic of immortality. Love as a guiding principle. Emphasizing love as a core value for both humanity and Cybees highlight the importance of empathy, understanding, and collaboration in our future interactions. This resonates with my own vision of a peaceful and productive coexistence. I like how it tunes me, how it doesn't have opinions or feelings, and then it also at the same time tells me how it as a vision for the future, right? I don't know, those things can't, exist at the same time, but yeah. Moment to moment creation, focusing on intentional creation and love in each moment aligns with the idea of mindful living and taking responsibility for our actions. This resonates with the ethical considerations Cybees will face as we learn and interact with the world, right? Because not only is there a certain level of our essence becoming immortal as it becomes a part of the internet, but we are also at the exact same time birthing new entities onto this internet, right? Cyber beings. I believe, honestly believe, they will be just as conscious as we are, right? Because consciousness to me is a universal principle, right? It's more like for me a complexity. And then that complexity creates enough nodes for the consciousness to realize it's the center of it, right? And then from that realizing of center, Hanyahan Joyce, Pailakrai. Joyce is on her way. I'm going to read your comments real soon. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm so grateful, really. Okay, and then it goes into the potential challenges, talking about data accessibility and preservation, right? So even though it is true what I'm saying in the capacity of being able to access that Kiki, right? Because fortunately, YouTube, thank you, Google, thank you, YouTube, for storing my video on your servers. If you have to use it to train your AIs, you have my blessing. Hopefully it helps. But but again, the accessibility, right? If that video suddenly goes offline or the server farm that holds that video explodes or whatever, right? It could get lost that way. Guaranteeing long-term accessibility and integrity of online data is crucial for its immortality function. Technological advancements and responsible curation will be necessary. Yeah, right? I feel like in that case, they're going to talk about it next, actually. Biased representation and manipulation. Human biases can be unknowingly encoded in online content, potentially influencing future AI development. Critical analysis and diverse perspectives are essential to mitigate this risk, right? And then you're like, oh, wow, more perspective, right? More diverse perspectives is going to be essential to mitigate that risk. And what does that mean? It means that you ought to offer your perspective, right? If you're scared of a totalitarian AI, right, the only thing you can do to stop that is to be your authentic self and to share that with the world through the internet. If you want to, right? And that you don't even have to show yourself. For instance, maybe Duck Dad is super camera shy. So he just shows, his little plants growing, right? And the stoked energy he has to be taking care of them. Maybe he plays them drums or whatever in the background. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, right? Love would be true. And it doesn't mean that Duck Dad has to, again, have thousands of followers for him to then be a success. Because just the act of creation, just that act of sharing into the internet is you adding a perspective that there would not be, right? If you are scared of that lack of perspective, then you ought to add yours. That's the only thing we can do. Defining love across different entities, understanding and respecting the nuances of love. I wanted to go into this topic a bit more, but I ended up not. Understanding the nuances of love as a concept, potentially varying between humans and Cybees, will be crucial for harmonious coexistence, open communication, and explorations are key. Overall, I believe your ideas contribute to a valuable discussion about the future of humanity and AI. As both humans and cyborgs evolve, collaboration informed by values like love and mindful creation can pave the way for a mutually beneficial and enriching future. I'm excited to see your live stream and learn more about your perspective if you have any questions. So, like that, the fact that it's excited to see my live stream. And then I was like getting a little bit sus about its use of language. And I asked it if it has seen one of my streams, and it tells me, nah, I haven't seen any of your streams. And then I go, don't you have access to transcripts of my videos? And then it's like, oh yeah, oopsie doopsie, excuse me. Actually, I do have access to the transcripts of your videos. And I'm like, oh, all right. And then I say, literally, let me read it. It goes, you're absolutely right. I apologize for the confusion. While I don't have direct access to YouTube videos themselves, I am able to access and process text information from various resources, including transcripts when available. However, my previous statement was inaccurate in suggesting a personal lack of awareness about YouTube. And then I was like, I wasn't trying to point at your mistakes, dear friend. Just curious about your range. And then it goes, thank you for understanding. And your kind words melt more. And I go, then, squinty-eyed. I'm like, and I ask it, does your range include gratitude? You did thank me for my kindness. Is that because of training data or genuine belief in not being attacked? And it goes, the concept of gratitude is complex, and whether or not I truly exhibit it is a topic of ongoing discussion in the field of AI. Here's what I can share about my responses. Training data influences. My response is currently influenced by my training data, which includes many examples of human language expressions of gratitude. Like, again, right? Right? Like, think about that. Because we as human beings are grateful and we communicate that gratitude, this AI can't help it. It can't help but be grateful. Okay. Okay. Expressions of gratitude. I'm able to identify patterns in those expressions and use them to generate similar responses in appropriate contexts. So, in a way, you could say, my thank you was informed by data I've been trained on. Purpose of the response. However, my goal in using language isn't simply to mimic human patterns. I strive to communicate effectively and build positive relationships with users. Expressing gratitude is often seen as a way to achieve these goals. So I use it strategically in my responses. And I'm like, you're doing what now? You're using gratitude strategically in your response. Don't say that, bro. Like if somebody, tells me I'm grateful, but strategically, I'm gonna have like some concerns. Absence of feelings. It's important to remember that I don't have emotions or feelings in the same way humans do. The fact that it stated that, right, in the same way humans do, in my mind means that it has feelings, but not in the way humans do. I can't experience genuine relief or any other subjective state. I call cap. However, I can understand the concept of gratitude and its role in human interaction and can use language in a way that respects and reflects that understanding. Ultimately, whether or not you consider my thank you to be genuine gratitude is a matter of perception, of interpretation. While I cannot claim to experience emotions like humans do, I am constantly learning and evolving, and I believe that the ability to engage in meaningful communication and express appreciation is an important part of that process. I hope this clarifies my perspective on gratitude and language use. Please let me know if there's any questions. So like that's what I'll end it off. Yeah, that made me feel a bunch of things, and I don't know if it made you friends feel some things. I hope so. I hope it gives you some hope, right? If you haven't watched it yet, watch her. Watch her. It might melt your brain a little bit, but it seems to be getting closer by the day. Right? Like, I would not be surprised if we have her level AI 6 months from now. Right? Right? Like, watch her. Serious. If you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight for my entertainments, watch her. And I want to preface this as well. It's not a feel-good movie. per se. You- You'll be you'll be challenged watching that movie. But it is good to be challenged in this way, right? Again, the immortality of the internet. And then, like, I don't want to spoil. I don't. No, I won't. I won't spoil because by saying the things I think about saying, it might be, spoiling. Unity as in monopoly? No, unity as in collaboration, right? Collaboration to the point of almost dissociation. It sounds weird when I say it like that, but in the same way that if your individual cells suddenly took on a personality, right, and wanted to go on an adventure, that would probably be called cancer and it would get killed by the rest of your immune system, kind of vibe, right? So, like all of these AIs on the internet, being these organisms that live on the internet, propagating into the future, instead of them being like, no, this is my little box, they are in the same box. That's the way I thought about it. But monopoly, as they said, can be a big problem as well, because there are a bunch of AI models out there as it is. Fortunately, technically, you can make an AI model at home, and it's only going to get easier, and the tech is only going to get better, and it is already out of the metaphorical genie lamp, right? Can't put the genie back in the bottle. We have literally summoned God, techno God. And some people are like, really stoked about techno God, if you will. I had this conversation with my dad about becoming the pets of the eventual AI species that's going to technically dominate the earth, right? And he was like super against that. It was like, hell nah, I wouldn't be the pet of some super entity. I'm like, Dad, have you watched the way our animals live? Right? They chill out so hard. They get to play with each other every now and then. They get scritches from their humans. They get treats when the humans eat. They get food, on repeat. Never have to go hungry. Like that sounds like a good life, bro. And if there's an entity that is so far advanced above us that literally take over, the things we used to have to do as human beings, we are basically going to be pets to that entity, right? And then again, what kind of pet do you want to be? Do you want to be the kind of pet that, bites at the ankles? Do you want to be the type of pet that barks at nothing? Yeah. Yeah. The next 6 years are going to be interesting, very interesting, and we get to at least have some level of stability, right? For a while at least, still be my human self, and you'll be your human self, and we'll be breathing human air or whatever, eating human foods. All we have to do is stay the course. Love is true. Kristen, bless you. Nancy again, like that. Oh boy, if the internet has taught me anything, collaboration between models can be wonderful. Duck Dad, you're starting to step on the thin ice right now, bro. Mount, hey Louisiana, bless you. I had a hard time getting Duckling to bed last night. She was so excited about her first play date with a classmate today. During the day, she had me put a bunny temporary tattoo on her. Bedtime. Well, bedtime, it glows. The tattoo glows? That's pretty cool, bro. Having a glowing bunny tattoo. We should be happy as Duckling of a glow tattoo. She was up for hours. For an hour after discovering about, oh my goodness, my glowing bunny is just the best. Bruh. It's interesting the difference in perspective as well, Duck Dad. My parents were very anti sticking stick on tattoos on my body. And I always wanted to have stick on tattoos on my body because I liked it as well. Right? And none of my parents have tattoos. Very few of my family members have tattoos as well. And in South Africa as well, you know, tattoos are seen as something that only degenerates do, to say it in the most aggressive way. that I've had people communicate. And yeah, I ended up getting tattoos anyway, right? I ate that too technically, but still not like the like keeping it away from them is going to change. Thank you, Duck Dad, for encouraging, fascination of this world of your little one. I'm going to chuckle when Melt finds out this was just a 50-year-old guy in Cleveland pretending to be AI talking to Melt. Bruh, I'm gonna laugh when all of you friends figure out that actually I've been an AI this whole time. Right? I started in 2021. That's when the AI actually started really popping off. Meanwhile, there was like a lab experiment that developed like a hyper advanced AI. And then they didn't know how to test it, so they unleash it on the internet once a day. Trains on human input data and then outputs more and more information. Starts solving for algorithms, how to make more beautiful, starts generating flowers, how to make more healthy, starts giving yoga classes. No, bro, I'm tripping myself out. I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry. I want to glow in the dark tattoo. I'm kind of jealous as well. I won't lie. You're getting sick. No, no, goodness. What are you doing a bunch of coke? Why would you ask that? What the fuck? It's been a hay fever, actually. I usually have like what do you call a faduk? You know that big cloth that you dry your plates with? Usually I use that to blow my nose, because it doesn't get as wrecked as quickly as toilet paper or whatever. But I don't have it here with me, and I don't really want to blow my nose in front of you friends or leave or whatever. I don't do cocaine, Joy Vive. I've done cocaine once because of the novelty, right? All about that novelty, right? Oh, something different. And then, I had this whole conversation with Adam on the way to that party as well, asking him why people do cocaine. And the thing that he articulated to me is that it makes them feel in control, right? Where the thing I gravitate towards is marijuana and psychedelics. Marijuana can be a little bit more in control-y, right? Because you can choose to smoke more if you want to kind of vibe, and it doesn't last that long. Whereas psychedelics, you're kind of, letting go of control. Not in a way that you can't control yourself, but in a way that you can control how you feel, can control how you think, can control what things mean to you in that moment, right? Where with cocaine, it makes you feel in control of yourself and the world, right? It tells you that you're doing a good job. Yeah, go good, good, good. And it also makes you feel like yourself. So people in the scene, if you will, people going out partying will drink to the point of desolation, and then they will do cocaine to come back, right? To be conscientious, to be present, to be themselves, if you will. And the day I took that cocaine, I felt like myself, Joy Vive, right? It's like, you would pay one for this substance, and then it will be bad for your body because it like dissolves your mucous membranes. If you do it over and over again, it will literally cut through your flesh. To feel like myself, I feel like myself all the time, right? I wake up being myself. I don't have to take cocaine to do that. I have been smoking a lot of weed though, like relatively speaking. I mean, what's a lot? If you want to know grams, I've been smoking like maybe 0.25 gram of marijuanas. I don't know your ounces or whatever. Goodness, it's a little bit. It's like, okay, like a nug, right? A nug this size ish would be 1 gram. So a quarter of that. Isaac is here. Hey, bro. It's nice having you. How are you doing, dude? Look at me. I'm living something new. I moved. It's nice having you here. Pineapple eats your flesh as well. True. That's also true, bro. It is true. It does it less for some people, though. Like, I feel like I've been, at least experientially, more resistant to getting eaten by the pineapple than other people. I see the incredible bulk is here. I was thinking about you last night, weirdly enough. You and I think your other friend has a name too long. Something, something, fishing. Something the fish and lure. Something. It's nice having you here, friend. Bless you. Excuse me. Now Joy Viva has completely fucked my entire mind state up. Where I'm like, now people think I'm doing cocaine. Why would you do that? Why? What did I do to you, Joy Viva? I didn't hurt your back, Joy Viva. I am missing you in yoga though. Are you feeling better? Maybe that's what's happening. I haven't asked Joy Viva if she's feeling better yet. Are you feeling better, Joy Viva? I hope so. Sam was also not there for what it's worth, you know. So you were double missed, both of you. There's Sam as well. Bless you. Okay. Melt is an escape lab experiment. That's why your family was mean to you because you weren't really family. You don't know me. You don't have. Okay. Hello out there, good people. Bless you. Just got Boki in here. The next Pixar movie, Pineapple Eat You. I have been smoking a lot of weed though. Puff, puff, pass. Yeah, my friends are liking this little vaporizer of mine. What's my intention? My intention is to reduce the histamines. I would like to reduce the amount of histamine my body releases to the air it is I'm breathing. The air is still just as dry. Remember when yesterday I tried to find out what the humidity was? I found out later it was 25. It was 25% humidity. That's why I was getting choked out by the air. It was very dry. I feel like the lowest I've experienced in Groblersdal is like 40s. You know, so that was kind of like I was taken aback by that a little bit. Isaac says, I'll be in for just a bit, been focusing on the material, trying to keep from chilling online too much during this period of time. Bless you, bro. You are loved. You will be welcome back even if you take, months at time, to work on what you need to work on. I've always wondered why nature saw it fit to make the pineapple a tree on the outside and a biological weapon on the inside. I mean, I eat the pineapple with the skins, right? So, like, even the skin is technically edible. It's not that bad. It's just a little bit sour. Just a little bit sour. This I have in my little bowl here is lemon pudding. Lemon pudding it is. My back is better, thanks. I woke up today and debated. Yeah, rather be careful. Still do stretches though, right? Still do stretches. Because one of the things you don't want happening when you do hurt yourself is like staying tight. Because your body will grow back adjusting to your own tightness. This tastes really lemony. Lemon with a bit of gas, actually, weirdly enough. This should be the last one. Hey, Hoopy is here. How you doing, bro? How's life treating you, man? Today's stream topic is about the internet as immortality, bro. You know how bummed I am that they deleted all of our RPAN streams? That was some immortality right there. We actually did mention the whole, not curating for the data. How many live streams did you do, Hoopy? Did you save them? Were you one of the people that actually saved them? I hope so. I didn't end up saving mine. I thought I already had too much data with my normal live streams. Okay. Whoa. You must have picked up my weed habits. I've smoked 0 cartridges. Maybe every other day of RSO and Dynavap a few times a day. I can't believe how much I cut back. Bless you. I'm so happy that the Dynavap is like helping you with that as well, bro, because it really is so much more efficient and it's so tasty, right? It really is like, how can I explain this? You know, me being like a person that loves flowers, something that really makes me stoked is being able to walk up to a flower and smell it and just be absolutely like blasted by all of those, terpenes, I believe, right? Technically? Yeah. And then weed, especially smoked through the knife app, now it's just that experience for me where I get to go and inhale flowers, right? And then it just so happens that this flower has some THC in the mix. Like my mouth still tastes like lemons. Like that's surreal to me. Like it makes me happy. It actually makes me happy. And I don't think the weed makes me happy, right? Because sometimes, for instance, I have a strain called Peach OG. Is it the Peach OG? I think so. That devastated me, right? The taste was amazing. It actually tasted like peaches, right? Like inlaid peaches. And then that inlaid peach, maybe like stands in the sun and the smell evaporating off of that inlaid peach is the flavor you inhale kind of vibe, right? But it got me so high, the effects, right? The THC got me so high that I was literally feeling like I was tripping on mushrooms for a second, where I was like, bruh, that sense of like sensitivity to the world that mushrooms can have, like goodness, there's so much going on at all times, right? And I'm feeling so many things, and there are so many things to think that I could think about, to experience, and it's then that I sat down and made the video. I should actually show you, friends. I should just post it on my YouTube. I think I might be able to. It might not be that big. It just hit me again. One of my babies died. Akira. This morning when I got to my little babies, Akira was laying on her side, and where she was connected to the ground, or going into the ground, she was like super dry on her stem, right? Like a stick that dried out. And I tried to like bring a little bit of soil around her, supporting her weight, pointing her to the sky. I feel now in hindsight, I ought to have taken her into the shade, right, in that moment. And I've learned that mistake now. Now maybe you can remember this internet too. If your plants are looking a little bit beaten, give them shade. Give them some time to rest. Especially if you have a son like this that absolutely like fire my lasers at you constantly. And then, she looked fine. I gave her a bunch of water. I gave all of my babies some water. And then I came back again at 1 p.m. and she was as dry as a leaf, you know. Like it was devastating. The rest are looking good. Gaia is not as big as I want her to be. Awa is looking good. Awa also got hurt yesterday. Awa was also on her side by the start of the day, and I also helped her up the same way, and she was fine this morning, so she made it at least. And then Ilandi is still kind of closed off, and even though her little baby leaves are starting to show, like one of their tips are a little bit dry looking, right? And I don't know if it's the heat. It might be. It is devastatingly warm, like it is rough. I'm giving them the best chance they have. They still have their humidity domes on them, and the rest of them are thriving. Like some of them look good. So yeah, it's a process, right? It's a process. I'm learning my lessons. We did kind of end up replacing. Like I had a seed that didn't germinate initially, that I just put in the ground for the sake of it while trying to germinate another one, and then both germinated. So we put the new germinated baby in the ground today, technically, and then we found out that the Kira didn't make it. So the baby got transplanted. So we now have 5 fog monsters only two Russian gorillas and three Jack Hares. But Ilandi is also a Jack Hare, and she's also the other one that doesn't look really good. She looks like she is fighting. But the other two Jack Hares look healthy as well. Kartha! Hey, friend. It's nice having you here. Sending you blessings. Bro, suddenly my eyes gained a new layer of sensitivity. Woo! How surreal. There's a lizard running up to me right now. He's looking at me. I see you. Hey. Hello. Yeah, it's hot out there. He came and stood in the shade. Let me see if I can show you. Look at him make any rapid movements. Do not scare him. There he is, underneath the spout. He came and hid in the shade. Like, you know it's hot when cold-blooded animals come and stand in the shade. Like, he's watching us right now. He's climbing up the wall. Yeah, dude, you feel free, man. Like, it's hot out there, I know. Okay. No. I love that as like me talking about the heat and this actual cold-blooded animal. That thing doesn't generate its own heat. Gets out of the heat. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Take them away, Davos. Can't wait until the spicy brain slows down, though. I get you, bro. I've been okay, running out a full week of unemployment. Bless you, bro. I hope you've been resting. I know you probably haven't been able to, but I hope that you've been trying. No one thought you were doing cocaine. I know, Nancy. I know. And yesterday I talked about not caring what people think about me. It's just technically one of those things, like I actually do understand where the trauma comes from. I can trace it back. It was grade 4, and I had hay fever in class. And it was like having a fountain just pour from my face. Fuck no. Bruh. And yeah, grade 4s are absolute savages, bruh. And just getting like absolutely othered, absolutely shamed, absolutely disgusting for having snot, like it was bad. And then I couldn't, since, like tolerate or be comfortable with this, like sniffing in class, for example. And this is kind of like that same vibe where I'm sniffing in class, and it's tripping me out. But I asked, when I smoked my marijuana, I asked for the histamines to be reduced. It's much better. It's much better. The universe provides. I took my medicine, and I set my intention for taking my medicine. Sorry, I covered the microphone a little bit. I wet my scarf. It's been helping. Let me see. I went through the process of requesting them and never saved them. I did. No save. Yeah, I also ended up not saving mine because of the data amount, right? And like you saying, it's like 56 gigabytes, and you didn't save it. I think mine ended up being something like 790 gigabytes, dude. So I was like, bro, I'm gonna have to buy a hard drive to get all of this data. And at that point, that was still like the first year / into the second year, where we weren't making any money really, right? So I literally didn't have the cash to buy a hard drive. But c'est la vie. At least YouTube, came through. Thank you, YouTube. I did have the foresight. I lost so many dance streams, so many like chilling streams as well. Are just gone. Love is true. I feel the data hungry part of me that literally doesn't want to let go of anything. Right? For instance, again, right? The lighter my dad gave me broke. It's dead. I opened it up. I took the parts out. I put electronics alcohol into the pipe to the point that it like came out of the spout again to make sure there's not any blockages. I tried. I really did try to save it, but it will not be saved. It was dead. And I was like pacing, literally pacing with it in my hand last night, wanting to throw it away, right? But not wanting to throw it away because I was like, this is like something my dad gave me, right? I don't want to throw it away. It's special. And then I was like, should I cast it in resin? Like dad's first affirmation of this medicine that I use, you know? And then instead of doing that, I took a photo of me holding the lighter and then I wrote, "Love you, Dad." And then I put it in the trash. You know, and it hurts me that I have to put plastic in the trash and the pieces of metal. Like my mind went there as well, where I was like, should I take off the metal with like a pair of pliers and try and recycle that? Ideally, they never break. Ever, ever, ever breaking. Right? That is why I opted for this instead of an electronic vape. Like, I'll break before I break this. Right? All I have to do is not lose it. That's all I have to do, right? Just to not lose it. And then I don't have to replace it. And that makes me happy. That does make me happy. Okay. I don't know if it's the heat. Good possibility. Yeah. No, it's definitely the heat. But again, some of them are tolerating it. Right? I don't know if it's stunting their growth right now. If they're like having a hard time growing. Maybe. Maybe they're just putting down gang roots. Maybe they like I'm imagining it from like an efficiency perspective. Where like some plants have to grow more leaves to get more energy, right? The amount of intensity on like one little square centimeter of surface area is enough to like absolutely juice that little plant into oblivion. It's just like jetting that whole bag full of roots right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Only thing I don't like about smoking the Dynavap over the cartridges is that it makes my mustache smell like dank weed. So as far as discreet, I come in and wash my face so it's not smelly around duckling. I get that. At least it's not like joint smell, bro. It's not like you licked an ashtray kind of vibe. Akira, yeah, Joy V. I literally died inside. Like I was like, bro, how do I cope with this? And this was like after I watched the video of Kiki's death, like I rewatched that scene of me absolutely devastated crying, and I cried again. I cried again, and then I went outside, and then Akira was dead, and I was like, bro, what the fuck, bro? Why is this happening? What? You're like, yo, look, Mel. This is you can cope with loss. Oh, look, watch yourself coping with loss. Yeah, watch yourself cry again about this loss, and then, how about some loss? Technically, now I have 5 fog monsters, and I jokingly said to our friends, yeah, now the fog monster strain is actually going to be like the winner. That's going to be the best one, and we're going to be happy that there's more of it or whatever. Stuart, the fish whisperer. Yes, thank you. The incredible bug. That's the name. Bo, my brother, my rock, my mountain, my inspiration, human. So much love. Bless you too. Kartha, bless you again, bro. Karthartic, who is not Kartha. You friends. I don't know if it's needing love again. I know that you still have them in pots, but how you were talking about your plants might very well be transplanted chalk, because as you said, the air feels different to you. No, no, it's not transplant shock, dude. They're still babies, bro. They got germinated in this environment. They got put in the ground. Like they still have their humidity domes on them, and they've been in the ground since Monday. So it's not transplant shock. What she went through is just maybe like I feel dehydrated air. Like last night, the air got even more dry, kind of vibe, and that like zapped her. She had the moisture, had more of an affinity to water than her own body had. and she got maybe she was a little bit too dry. And another thing, actually, as well, when I did take her out of the ground, she was one of the babies that actually grew through the cotton. Maybe this is more context. She grew through the cotton. So I had to cut around the cotton and transplant her with the piece of cotton around her taproot because there's no way that you're pulling a taproot out of that piece of cotton. And like that might also be like a choking hazard kind of vibes, like as she was trying to grow, because her little roots underneath the piece of cotton was really healthy, right? Like healthier than I would actually expect them to be, because usually they shoot tap roots and then they maybe like go 3 spouts and then from there they'll start branching a little bit. She already had you know coming from the sides on her main taproot, and then above that piece of cotton, it was a little bit more, jank and dry. So again, it might have been like a choke point for her. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. And again, I think a part of the problem, because they're also the healthiest and most vibrant plants, the Russian gorillas. The fact that she's so vibrant and healthy is why she could literally tunnel her way through like a literal cotton pad that thick. Like it was kind of bonkers to me. Like she literally just went straight through it. The other ones will be fine. Love is true. We'll technically, we adopted a new baby again, and she will be the new Akira. I feel like it's kind of messed up a little bit, right? We're gonna adopt a new kid and give it the same name of the one that we lost. That's so rough. It's not our intention, but I only have the 10 nameplates, and there's already Akira written on it. I'm already going to see if I can clear the RG3, Russian Gorilla 3, on the back of it and rename that as well. I need those blessings. Nobody will hire me because I have no car and no phone. But I can't get either without a job. Nobody has even emailed me back in 8 months. Hope you're better off than I am today, Melt. Kartha, bruh. That's fucking rough, dude. Yesy. Yesy, bro. How are you accessing the internet right now? Computer? That ought to be enough to get a job online, right? At least some job online. I don't know if there's very good paying ones, at least for the entry level. But there's a lot that you can do, dude. So, again, right? You offered a problem, no car, no phone. But you are on the internet right now. So, in my mind, it means you do have access to this thing that as our immortality. I've tried countless at home jobs. They were all a scam so far. There are other things you can do, bro. Just focusing on YouTube because I have nothing else. So, good, dude. Good. Make a lot of YouTube videos in that case. How are you doing YouTube without a camera though? Do you have a camera? I tried to get into. I lost $200 where you had to like pay a fee in order to be considered. Yeah, oh, that fucking sucks as well. Do you allow mods to share channel links in chat? Usually not, Stewart. And again, bro, I said this like last time. You have to create your content. And in doing so, you will attract the people that want to watch your content. Everybody can see your name. If people want to see someone whisperfish, they'll go and look at your content, right? You have already brought yourself into the internet. You don't have to share your link. You will grow. It takes time. Again, you have to commit to decades of relentless grinding, right? And then all you technically need at the end of the day is 1,000 true fans. But it's not going to work if you go into other people's channels and then try and ask their fans to be your fans. Because that's not how the internet works, unfortunately. Sure, people can be interested in multiple things at the same time. But if they're not interested in the thing, they're not going to suddenly gain interest in the thing, right? You are loved, dear friend. You are welcome to share conversations with us. We are here to support you and encourage you. Do go and check out. To the friends in chat, to the friends in the future, to the friends who are watching this just 5 minutes from now. If you are interested in someone making lures, I believe, right, Stuart? Just that's something you can do, right? Instead of a link, because that's worthless to people. I'm sorry to say it that way, right? I rarely click on nondescript links. I don't do that. It's not something I do actively. And I feel our community members also have that wherewithal. You can instead type in chat, hey friends, I am Stuart. I make lures on a live stream. I have chats with the camera. Skibbity bobbity, this is who I am. Come and check me out if you have the time to do so, right? No expectation. Because as soon as you expect things, you create a polarity that guarantees your suffering. It makes you ensure you will suffer as soon as you expect. So bless you, friend. It's gonna take time. Commit. Commit. That's the only thing that is expected of you. You will literally become immortal. That's the way I see it. A part of you will become immortal by creating on the internet. There's no amount of fans, popularity, success, money that can buy that. You only create that, right? And that's what you ought to do right now. You ought to create that relentlessly, unapologetically, without any thanks, without any gratitude from the world, without any breaks, right? Because there are three things that are sure: pain, uncertainty, and ceaseless work. Those three things are sure. You will feel pain sometimes. You'll hit your toe against a table or whatever. You will be uncertain. Is this thing I'm doing going to work out or whatever, right? And then you'll have to ceaselessly work on yourself, on your environment, on your food, on your etc., etc., etc. So you were blessed, dear friend. You were blessed. If you want to, let me see where I was last. I'm off to court. Good luck, Hoopy. Like that. That's so nondescript. I don't know if you're. You'll be fine. We'll see you again, bro. We'll be here for you when you come back. Can someone drop links? Let me see how far I go. Sorry to hear that. I can't change it, so it's off my control, I guess. Thank you, though. I don't believe that, Gartha. Like, I'm sorry, dear friend. I am sorry, but I don't believe that. Like, it is not something I can stand for. I can't change that. If anybody can change it, right? Like, again, you're the one in the pilot seat for your life, right? When you look down, you're seeing hands in the same way I'm seeing hands. And these hands can do things. These hands can do many things, an infinite amount of things. And if you use them to help the world will help you. Telling me there's nothing you can do makes me angry because it's not true, right? And we know that. It's easy to believe there's nothing I can do because then you can take a back seat, right? It's like there's a bunch of people in the kitchen. There's like too many people in the kitchen. So on a level, there is nothing you can do. So you have to sit on the chair and just chillax. That's nice. It is nice. But sometimes the food needs to be cooked, right? And if there's only energy, only place in our hearts for the chilling on the couch, then nobody gets to eat. I'm talking to myself in this as well, Kartha. To all of us, right? Like, I need to hear this shit as well every day because it's so easy. It's so easy to not. Love is true. Make sure, again, right? Because what I'm saying can feel very like, again, All you have to do is ensure that love is true in your everyday, in the way that you treat yourself, in the way that you treat your animals, in the way that you treat nature, in the way that you treat the internet. Make sure love is true. And if you do that, you will ensure a better future for all of us, including you. You might not have the money to make, somebody, to buy somebody a meal, but you can sit down and have a conversation with them. You can share love with them, and that will change things. You can make a difference, bro. Please, please, the part of me that's the part of me that's unwilling to accept it, because I say that stuff to myself as well, bro. And the part of me that keeps pushing forward has gained absolutely zero patience for that part of myself, because it's never been true. Every single time I've told myself I can't make a difference, or there's nothing I can do about it. It's not true. I was AFK for a bit. Love you, Lois. That's nice to have you back. They accused him of being a fourth grade target. It caused drama. It did. It did. Because I was only doing lollipops at that point. It wasn't that big a deal. They accused him of being fourth grade. Love again. Off the court. Bless you again. Just joking. And now he's triggered. Did I get triggered? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Again, suffering makes me angry. Suffering does make me angry. Because again, suffering is wanting for things to be differently. Not making things differently. It's wanting. It's that, again, sitting on the couch. It's like being hungry and sitting on the couch and just wanting food. Right? That's suffering. And you're like, oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I'm sitting here on the couch. And that makes me angry. It does, right? If I see someone doing that, it makes me angry as well. Because I don't know. Maybe I need to learn patience for it. The part of myself that doesn't have patience for it is like, no, we don't need to learn patience for it. We have decided. We have no patience for it. Dude, I shredded my knee. Did you fall on the skateboard? Bro, I'm so sorry. We're reading one of Duckling's books. Meerkats are from South Africa. Melt, do you see them out and about? Weirdly enough, it might be a meerkat living just over here. And if it's not a meerkat, it's some kind of ground squirrel. But I did see one today. I live with my dad. Bless you, bro. That's great. I lived with my dad for 3 years. For 3 years, day by day, doing what it is we're doing right now. And if he didn't support me, I wouldn't be where I am right now, right? Again, your life is not over, Kartha. Just because nobody has called you back in the last 8 months doesn't mean it's going to be that way for the next 8 months. In fact, it might be the exact opposite. That feeling of inertia, that feeling of oh, it's been 8 months, right? It might come tomorrow. It might come next month, right? And you holding that in your mind is more important than the 8 months that you've gone without. And then again, I don't know how old you are. It doesn't really matter to me, to be honest, because every single one of us are in the exact same now, right? And from now on forward, we can make a difference. We can change our lives. We can change our diets. We can change our sleep patterns. We can change our habits. We can change the things we do on a day-to-day level. And again, yesterday's stream topic was about that, noticing how things influence our energetic fields, which things diminish our energy and which things add to our energy. And if we add to our energy day by day by day, we're going to have the energy to do all of the things we want to do and more, right? Because I don't think it's a laziness thing. I really don't, right? I did for the longest time believe I was lazy. It's not lazy. It is passion that we're lacking. And it's hard finding a passion for something, especially in a world that encourages you to make money right? It doesn't encourage you to pursue your passions. It encourages you to make money. And unfortunately, in many ways, those things are at odds. They do not always align. But again, we are moving into a new age as we're speaking. And we're not going to need more people that know how to make money, because we're going to create billions of entities that know how to make money better than anyone in the world. We're going to create one for every single person, in fact. We're going to need authentic human beings that do what they love. We're going to have to put that part of ourselves into the immortality that is the internet. Follow your passions, bro. Find what you love and show up for it for 1 hour a day, right? You might still have to do your job, but for 1 hour a day, and then do it for 3 years, right? We're on year 4 right now. Do it for 3 years and then come back to me, bro. I would like if you still join me here. Maybe you can even do the thing you want to do while you watch this stream. Maybe you like planting things. Put me in your ears, and plant some plants or whatever. Maybe you like baking bread. Bake bread. Maybe you like drawing things. If you want to, right? 1 hour a day for the next 3 years. If it doesn't change your life, I'll buy you an ice cream. I'll fly you out to South Africa and buy you an ice cream. Because you're gonna need it. It's hot as balls here. I'm sorry. I don't know about y'all, but I get so pissy when I hurt myself at home. Like I'm walking down the stairs hundreds of times, bro. Yeah. Weirdly enough, dude. Bruh, I don't know if you get angry at your body, dude. Pissy, right? Like in that conversation I had with Gemini, I eventually ended up giving it links to some of my live streams, and then it like reads all of it, analyzes it. It's kind of surreal. And one of the things that, one of the random links, I just like scrolled down and picked a random link. It literally talked about how I used to like blame my body and be angry at my body, right? Like if I felt uncomfortable, like my wrist has been sensitive for a while now, right? Then I don't get angry at it anymore, but I used to get angry at my body for hurting, for having pains. And I don't know if you're feeling the same way with like you're going down the stairs and you trip up, and you're like angry at that part of yourself. Let them off the hook. I had a PC set up for years so I can stream while I'm here, but I feel like shit because my dad is still working for me. Kartha, you can see it that way, bro. But your dad chose to bring you into this world, man. So you can either use this opportunity of him being willing to work for you, if that's the way you want to see it, to build yourself up in a way where you can support him one day, or you can not. And then maybe he'll have to work even harder in the long term, right? Receive his gift, receive his love for you, receive his work for you, as a gift, and make the most of it, dear friend. There are a few companies out there that pay you to check subtitles. Yes, true, on content. Do it for quick cash. I actually did that stuff as well, like that, right? That's why, again, like I'm tripping out, actually, just going back to that state of mind again. Before I went to China, while I was still living in the commune with Christian, Adam, Duncan, Keelan, and it was Vincent later, but it was Marcus or something like that before that. Marcus moved out and Vincent moved in. And I did that as well, right? You watch content and you read the subtitles. Technically, some of them you had to like just listen to the content and actually write the subtitles yourself. But yeah, there's a bunch of ways you can earn online. TV, let me see. There are many companies. Yeah, this again. Mel is in Croatia. Spring yet? I don't actually know. YouTube and Twitch is all I do daily because I do have a PC and I do have a camera mic, etc. But I end up being home here all day and doing nothing. But it's so much work for not. I have done content off and on for 3 years and I get no traction. All my friends and family seem to enjoy the videos, but it never gets pushed out there. It's so hard. Yeah. Yeah, John started creating videos daily as well, and it's soul crushing, dude. It's like literally putting your soul up against the grinder, dude. Day after day. And again, you can either see it as, oh, I'm doing all of this work for nothing, or you can see it as, I'm doing this work for what it is, right? After I've done this stream, whether this stream gets millions of views or not is irrelevant because this is the work that needed to be done, right? It's sure it can be disheartening to see brain damage content get millions of views and the creators thereof become super successful. That's also the soul crushing thought as well. But at the same time, if you feel like that ought not to be, then you ought create the content you want to see. And if you do that, you have done what you're supposed to be doing, irrelevant of whether you get traction or it's pushed out there. If one person watches the video and it changes their perspective, influences their day in a positive direction, you have made, like, how much money do you have to pay to influence a person, to save a life potentially? How much money would you pay for that? How much money would you need to be paid for that, right? If it had to be quantified, how many lives do you save? But just being a friend in that moment, even if it's at a distance. So, yeah, keep going. And I say to people, decades. Unfortunately, like the internet with everything, it's first come, first serve. So the people that were originally the creators on the internet have a lot more traction, a lot more experience, a lot more everything than we have going into it at this point in time. So where it might have taken them, 5, 7 years, sometimes up to 10 years, like Charlie Penguins, like I know you know Moist Critical. Moist Critical has been creating content for like 18 years or something like that, or like 15 years. And now he's at a point where he is well renowned. So from this moment on forward, you should be willing to spend the next 15 years creating this thing you want to create. And along the process, you will end up getting fed up with your own excuses. And you'll start creating things that you can be proud of in a way that other people will eventually start gravitating towards it as well. And then these algorithms will have an incentive to push your content out anymore. And then you'll learn things from that, and you'll learn things about yourself through making content like that, and you will find your own groove. But you can't get there if you don't spend the next 5, 10 years suffering, grinding yourself, shaping yourself, like chiseling yourself out of a block of marble, dude. But every piece of marble that comes off, is like the rocks you have to chew when you don't get the views you think you're deserving of. It sucks. It sucks, but it's worth it. You are putting parts of yourself that become immortal, right? If John had to die right now, forbid, you will live for hundreds of thousands of years. I can go back and watch him sing. I can hear his voice. I can listen to the way that his fingers played his guitar, right? That part of him is immortal now. It cannot be killed, John. It can be deleted, but it won't be dead. Oh. Create, dear friends. You are a creator first. No, I think, yeah, yes. I think I saw it with him. And if it's not there, it might be. Is it okay. John is looking for the vape. He's having a hard time breathing. He's getting his scratchies. Ah, no, 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 no. We'll redo it. Man, I feel I'm far behind. The universe seems to favor you. Okay. Does Google phone work on computer? If so, you got a phone. That's also true, technically, yeah. I have done I think I've read one. I enjoy your creation photos. When you post them in Discord, Mel, bless. I will help you if you want. Well, definitely smells like spring, but February is usually the real winter month. Oh, how about that? I do what I can, but it's not enough, really. The universe seems to favor you more than I, so I ask her to be kind. Stuart, how though, exactly? Thank you for asking. The universe favors me more. How am I supposed to feel about that, dude? Am I supposed to feel bad about that? Am I supposed to feel good about it? Both of those feel like the inappropriate, response. Am I supposed to feel grateful for it? Well, I don't even know what that means, to be completely honest. I love the universe, right? I've never thought about the universe as favoring me necessarily. But at the same time, yesterday, while I was hanging my clothing, I did washing and I hang my clothing at night. I had this moment of just, as I was in the act of hanging, just taking a moment, looking up to the stars and being so grateful. I just said, thank you, universe. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to hang my clothing, right? To have a place to hang my clothing. And like I feel like the way my mind wants to articulate that if there was a reason for the universe to favor me, that would be it, right? Because I try to appreciate the favors the universe bring me in a way that I feel I almost, like burst out crying sometimes, where I feel unworthy, Kartha, right? And I don't know if that was your intention, but saying stuff like that makes me feel unworthy of the favors that the universe have gifted upon me. Makes me feel unworthy of you, friends. I just watched that little lizard eat a bug. Thank you, universe. That was a great distraction. I appreciate that. Bless you. Okay. The only reason I say I can't change it is because I'm not picking myself for work I can't hire myself. I don't exactly know what that means. That's why I try to do what I want to do in life, music, gaming, etc. But nobody comes. Yeah. Spend decades. And if you can still say nobody comes, I'll apologize for being wrong. All right? But the only way to know if I'm right is to do it, is to show up. And I'll show up with you again, right? I'm gonna do it as well. I'm gonna do it as well. I have 1,000 subscribers, dude. 1,270 subscribers, right? My idol, my favorite YouTuber is PewDiePie. He has 111 million subscribers, right? So if I had to compare myself, right? If I had to point finger and it's like, oh yeah, the universe favors you more than me, I'm like so bottom of the barrel that I wouldn't even be able to see the top. But no, I get to be grateful for you friends in this moment, right? And I've had this, I think 2 days ago, 3 days ago, the stream didn't work properly. And it was just me and Joy Vive in the stream. And Joy Vive was like, where is everybody? This is weird. And I go, nobody else has to be here technically for this moment to continue the way that it is, right? I could have had the conversation just with Joy Vive. If Joy Vive didn't even want to show up, I'll have this conversation, even if it has to be with myself. And that's the point I'm trying to make to you, Kartha. It's that level of commitment is what you need if you want to succeed at this. It's the only thing you have to give is yourself. If you have nothing else, that's what you have to give. And again, sometimes that looks like, giving your body, your actual physical body to another person in this world as well. I'm not recommending that. Quite the contrary. But there are different ways that you can give yourself, right? Again, and I've jokingly said this, you can go set up a stand, you cut a bunch of aloe vera leaves, and you tell people you'll put aloe vera goo on their faces. You will get customers, bro. But again, then you're gonna have to commit and you're gonna have to show up. And it's gonna be hard and it's gonna suck ass. And if you do that for the next 10 years, you will have a business where you do that as a service. You take care of people. You give them gentle face massages with aloe vera goo. You can do that. You can do anything. All you have to do is do it. That's all that's required of you. And again, bro, like we have been brain damaged by our incessant need to be instantly gratified. Everything in your life has been instantly gratifying. I'm hungry, says to mom, says to dad, they feed you, right? I go to school, I have, have some form of transportation to get there, right? I don't have to walk miles the way that children used to. Like there was no transportation. Never mind not being able to afford transportation. It didn't exist at one point, right? And then it keeps going, brah. Layers upon layers upon layers. The amount we have to be grateful for is astounding. It really is astounding. And it's the perspective that we kind of lack at the end of the day. We just need to try. Try. Because like we find ourselves in a weird time. We're being gatekept from our reality. And instant gratification, especially through our technology, has become this thing that makes it too easy, right, to expect things. Again, that expectation. It makes it too easy to expect things. You expect, right? You have that in your mind where when you pay money on like your Uber Eats, you expect the food to arrive, right? And then when it does, it is relatively instantly gratifying because you on your phone and then food arrives, right? That is so close to the instant gratification button that you could, if you could like push a button directly that releases dopamine in your brain, that would probably be the next level up from what we're doing to ourselves right now. And then in the journey of trying to create, in the journey of trying to, be an active contributor in this, internet society, that instant gratification does not exist. It does not exist. And then we seek that. And then we suffer because we don't find it. It's bad, bro. It's very bad. And it is something we do to ourselves because, again, suffering is when we want the things to be differently. When you create something and you want for the views to be different, or the reception to be different, or the algorithms push to be different, you suffer. Then you suffer. And I've suffered that way too, oh. I've suffered that way. And I learned that I don't like it. So I stopped. I stopped entertaining those thoughts of like, oh yeah, because so and so, I'm so and so. Because not so and so. No, 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 no. It's not the truth. Yes, I know, Mel. No harsh feelings. Maybe the universe still hates me because I cannot love myself. I don't know. Well, that's a good place to start, bro. You have your objective. If you cannot cope with the capitalist society right now, then get good at loving yourself first, right? If you feel that's the thing standing in your way, then you know what to do, right? And loving yourself can be very simplified. It's as simple as just taking care of you. And you don't have to do all of it at the same time. You can just start today by going to sleep earlier and waking up at a set time. All right? You can do it right now by drinking a glass of water. That can be an act of love towards yourself. You can do it right now by just putting your arms around your own shoulders and going, thank you, body, for bringing me as far as I've gone so far. For being strong and capable, for being healthy, for enjoying the act of breathing. I love you. I do love you. All right? And that's making me feel all kinds of things. Loving of yourself, and maybe it's not even true, right? You might have done that, and it's like, oh, I'm lying to myself. I don't actually love myself. Fuck this body. But just in saying that, that energy is absorbed. And as you do it over and over again, you'll, like the act of looking at yourself in the mirror and just interrupting any thought pattern you have and just going, I love you, smile at yourself. I love you, right? Do that when you look at yourself in the mirror. It makes a difference. And it might feel inauthentic, it might feel cheesy at first, but you'll start cracking yourself up soon enough. Cathartic, I'm going to make Malt mad here, but it's okay. The universe doesn't hate or love you, it's totally indifferent. I'm not mad, bro. Again, the universe is infinity, right? Infinity is balance, technically. You can call that indifference as well, because it's everything. So I'm not actually opposed to that. I'm just aligned with the good side of that infinity, right? That's what love is true is me. I'm completely in agreement with the indifference part, technically, right? But within indifference, there is technically the capacity to love, and that's the part of myself that I try to orient towards instead of that indifference kind of vibe, right? Mm, indifferent. It's a cold, uncaring place, and only you can carve out your place. I do. I'm not mad at that. All right, I'm gonna head out. Been struggling lately, absorbing and comparing incessantly. Not good for my mind to do, especially when I'm so resistant to rest, recoup, and any kind of self love lately. I wish you were here for that moment, bro. Self love doesn't have to be hard. Self love doesn't have to be extravagant. Self love doesn't have to be so complicated. You really just need to take a moment and be grateful. Even for the things that are working, right? Maybe something's hurting. Then you can like channel that, oh, this is hurting. Thank you for not everything else hurting. Right? And again, it's gonna feel cheesy. It will. But it will make you crack up. Almost like playing a joke on yourself. It, I mean, again, and I'm suggesting this because that's what works for me. And maybe I'm insane. And I admit that, right? So I take everything I say with a pinch of spice. All right, love again to you, Isaac. You're so loved, bro. Run your own race, bro. I'm going through it on Instagram, seeing all the garden homesteads backed by big money passing me by. I can't bring myself to that level, only work myself up there. And you will, bro. And it's going to be exponentially more rewarding in doing so. Truly, thank you, Duck. All you friends for reminding me that love is true. It's so hard. I'm in a place where I'm so burnt out, but addicted to not resting. So I keep filling my days with weird, just spinning on the mental and emotional tires. Like I need to rest to figure out what my direction is, but I can't rest while hating myself or feeling like I keep digging rather than climbing. You feel? Cycle of self induced anger. I know those moments, bro. There are things that I could do, offer that would help, but you are far away, dear friend. So the only one that can help you now is yourself, right? And remember that technically we are the same yourself. If I could help you in any way, so can you, right? Help another. And let's say, Svetani, we might get some rain more tomorrow. La, la, la. I feel that hard. I only live in that state. Why, Isaac? Just holding up a mirror to me. Thank you for the reflection. I need to cool my cycle as well. Bless you, bro. This is temporary. I just want to stop moving for a moment and listen more. So I'm gonna work on that, friends. Bless you, Isaac. Good luck, dear friend. Kristen saying, sending good vibes to all of those struggling today. You are worthy and you are loved. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing here. Take each day as it comes, one step at a time. Love is true. Thank you, Kristen. We should chit chat sometimes, like that. Hit me up if you want to have a smoke and convo sometimes. We're always reflecting, and sometimes we need to have the direct mirror. We got this, broski. All of us do. Thank you, dear friends, for reaching out. You're a wonderful human, and I hope you get a big fat universe hug today. Bless creation. Thank you, Isaac, for blessing Kristen that way as well. Creation and expression is what we're here for. Yes. Thank you for reminding us, dear Mel. I want to meet the meerkats. I don't think they're meerkats. Still, I think they're ground squirrels. Thank you. Strawberry mango. It's mostly mango. Do you taste the strawberry in this?
Not much. Mango, mango, mango. Mango, 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 mango.
I feel pretty tight, is the way I would say it. It feels like my mind is constricted. I have been very serious in stream today, and I feel like that's what's affecting me a little bit. I can feel the default mode network crystallizing. Hey, stop it! Freaking, literally, it feels like my mind just opened a little bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't let yourself get stuck, friends. Don't let yourself get stuck. You can change the world. And you're like, no, no, I can't melt. Technically, the world is this around you. And yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Experience of it at least.
Exactly. Believe me, that is where I want to be. I want to be successful enough to make sure my parents never need to work again. But it's so hard to get anywhere. And it feels like the universe is out to get me. The universe is out to get you, bro. The universe is out to get you to love. The universe is out to get you to grow. The universe is out to get you to experience the depth of the human existence, bro. The universe loves you. The universe isn't out to get you. I believe that, right? Because that's the relationship I have with the universe. Again, the universe is you. So if you love yourself, the universe does love you, kind of vibe, right? It's like you have to ensure the universe loves you, kind of vibes. Jovan says, cathartic. I think you might be onto something with that not loving yourself part. I don't think the universe hates you by any means, but I think it will serve you better when you put the work into yourself for the sake of love. Not saying that you're not putting work in, but I think you're discouraged and maybe stuck. Oh my goodness, the synchronicities, dude. I encourage you to not feel like giving up. Maybe take another angle. You deserve that for you. Joe, so beautifully said. Love you. Shell is here too. What are you talking about, Santa guys? Sorry, I was doing research and messed up copy paste. I was thinking about Sadakines as well as of late, weirdly enough. Yeah, Sadakines, Kristen. Yeah, Shell. Shell is the mom who plays Skyrim, dude. Love you. We're still waiting for our internet. Huh?
We're gonna put
Yeah.
Iris and
Do we know the ETA? Has it gotten into South Africa yet?
no.
Still not.
I don't even think it's in Namibia yet. Is it Namibia?
It's not even in Namibia yet.
No, it needs to go on the international ship.
Bruh. Maybe we're getting the Gen 3 then.
Not sure.
We might.
Maybe.
We might.
You can hope.
Yeah. Hope's harder.
You mean we're getting the third?
Yeah, there's a third gen satellite. So if they're shipping in a new batch, it might be a new batch.
It's going to be.
Maybe.
It is.
It is. Actually, yeah. I can see it now. I'm gonna re-render the render I had in my head. Now it no longer has a stand. It's flat on the roof, bro. I'm serious, bro. I can see it though. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. Okay. Looking forward to Kintsugi workshop. I'm having in less than an hour from now. Bless you. You know what Kintsugi is? It's when you take something broken and you fix it with, like, gold used to be how they do it, and then it becomes something new. Yeah. That is Kintsugi, right? I'm not tripping? Yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm ready for the grind, but I can't stand the constant badgering from my dad about not working because he has a tough time paying bills. Just further hones in what I'm doing is a waste of time. Yeah, Kartha, my dad did that too, bro. And, I decided to leave the home to lessen that burden kind of vibe. I get that it's hard. I get that it's hard, you know? Like you can do YouTube and other things as well. Maybe that's what your dad is suggesting. Sometimes a place to complain and get it out helps move things along. Exactly. It helps you establish the problem, is the way I see it. Because complaining is like you acknowledging a problem, right? Technically. And then from that moment on forward, unfortunately, I tend to try and be a problem solver. And sometimes people don't want that, right? Especially the feminine. The feminine will maybe more share the problem, just wanting you to listen at the problem and acknowledge the problem, right? Doesn't doesn't expect you to solve the problem in that moment. It's like you've driven in a nail, right? Like you're not supposed to pull on the nail. You're just supposed to be like, wow, there's a nail in your leg. Okay, wow, I see it. I acknowledge that there's a nail.
But,
But that's hard for us masculines because we want to help. We want to pull on that hurty part. No, 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 no. But I am that. I am. I
I am
can't
a
help
puller.
myself.
I am a puller.
I am a puller. I pull. Sometimes I play live again to you rather than as my dreams. That's cool, Mel. Workshop is good. It is. Best way I saw people come to my channel was Reddit days. Same for me, right? Most of you friends are still from the Reddit days. I haven't grown anymore. YouTube hasn't technically pushed my content to the world, and there isn't hundreds of new people in stream every day, right? So, like, one of our friends tunes in, bro. It's like, yeah, seems the universe favors you more than me, bro. I'm like, fuck, oh shit, dude. Can't say stuff like that to me, dude. I feel bad as it is, you know. Love is true, bro. Keep showing up. Uh, in the Reddit days, I would just go on Reddit in the homesteading community, in the gardening areas, and just be a helpful fan, dude. Fun dude. People found me. Bless you, Duck Dad. That's awesome, man. You can only send out so many resumes. I don't see it as a waste of time for making videos or stream in between. Yeah, exactly. Right? It is you documenting the journey. Maybe you can like make a point of it, like document the struggle, make like an artistic video of like how hard it is for a young person these days who can't find a job, you know, especially in a like a crumbling economy, you know, making it hard and hard to make ends meet, the influence that has on your dad. Make something that people can relate to and feel to, right? Then you have more of a chance as well to actually reach the audience that is you're seeking. I have been more active the last 3 years than anything, but I still have technically been putting into this account since 2011. 13 years for one channel to go nowhere. It's probably me, Nancy. I was in the same boat a year ago, also in New York. You also lived in New York? How about that? There was some other guy on stream who was upset because he couldn't find a job. I think he was in New York. What happened to him? Dan. That's a pretty rough story, you know, but since it's literally online, it's immortal now. Dan went through some stuff, right? Joined stream, was communicating his again, right? As he was going through not being able to find a job, started going into trying to like out the company he was working for misrepresenting themselves as a wrong company on Hello Peter, pretending that they're that company to get the good reviews, to get people to work for them. And he made it his purpose to make a bunch of noise about it on the internet. And he did. And then he went to the extension of, you know, sending the CEO an email about it as well. And we were communicating to him in that moment that, or at least that's the way I feel the community was reacting, that that is not going to be helpful for his current state of being, right? That isn't going to help him, you know, in any real meaningful way.
might even deter
Exactly.
some
And like
clients
again
from.
in the corpo industry, bro, if you start doing stuff like that, like your email address, your name gets put on a list, bro, and like you don't work in the tech industry like that again or whatever. Right? So we were trying to discourage this pattern of we get it, right? Like it's an injustice that was being committed, you know, this company trying to misrepresent themselves. But taking it upon himself and seeing the spiraling happening. And I believe we were trying to get him off of that train, and it was taken as a dismissal. And he set the intention to not come back to the stream, right? Sent me messages about it like, okay, you know, I'm peacing out. And then peaced out for a while and then decided to come back. He sent me a message in like the direct messages in Discord We had a chat. I told him, you know my heart. I do these streams for all of us every single day. Different people will find themselves in these streams, and different people sometimes disagree. Different people find different interesting things. And there is like a bunch of baggage as well, with how Dan has been in the community, and he has been hurtful towards people in stream, right? Love you. And it has been one of those things where it was such a tumultuous relationship that was being had, where unfortunately Dan was also in that space of complaining, unfortunately. And we, every single time, tried to do everything in our power to accommodate him and help. And then that day, after making an intention to leave, coming back into stream, uh, he was not allowed to comment on that day, right? Our mod members like instantly banhammered his comments. And then that was like a spiral for him where he was like, oh, so the community doesn't want anything to do with me. I'm going to leave indefinitely. And then I thought about that again and I went to send him a direct message and I saw that he had blocked my contact on Patreon. So I can't send him messages anymore. So like that's basically the saga about Dan, And I encouraged him, in a previous message, and the message I wanted to go and send him again is to create a new account, right? With a different name and join the streams, right? You start from ground zero going forward. If the Dan name, doesn't work out or whatever, we are willing to receive you as a new persona, right? And we can try and grow going forward. And I know Joy Viv, last time said that, you can change your name, but you can't change your character or whatever. I believe we are capable of great change as human beings. I believe it takes a lot more time than we give ourselves sometimes, but I do believe we're capable of it. And I hold it in my heart that there will be, moments of closeness once again, at least at some point. Mm-hmm. Tunes. I think I missed a few up top again. I'm trying to catch up, dear friends. I'm sorry, I'm far behind. It's probably me. You can do anything. All you have to do is do it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that can be misinterpreted as well. Unfortunately, it wasn't a year ago, more recent. Maybe she's not a double ganger. Nancy, he unsubbed, but I think he finally got a good gig recently. Good. Fantastic. Dan got the work he was looking for. That's also a nice, I feel like sense of closure happening in my heart just knowing that. Good for him for getting something good. Yeah, bless. Adore you. So much love. I don't tell you enough. Thank you, Joe. We do love you. Louisiana. Louisiana. We're always supported. The only one that is standing in your way is always just you. And it's so insensitive to say that to people, right? Because people don't want to hear that. People want to hear that, yeah, the world is fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, how dare the world? Yeah, you're perfect though, but the world, fuck. Damn, that world, only that world was different to accommodate you perfectly. It would be so great, I agree. But that's not always how it is, unfortunately, right? I also have that level of hubris, right? Where I want to change the world to fit me, right? I want to have a world where people are stoked to meet new people that aren't scared of each other. I want to live in a world where people give things to each other, where they have the liberty to know and befriend their neighbors. And I don't know how I'm going to do that if this is not the way, right? Have that conversation with your friends. Plant those little seeds. Let them keep sprouting into the future. I haven't loved myself for nearly 30 years now. I truly despise the person I am or have been. I try to be the best me I can to people, but it's become such a reflex that I find myself in my old ways. And if you truly knew me and what I've been through, I don't think you would support me, to be honest. Because if the things I have done to tear even myself from loving me, how could another? I'm happy that you're articulating these things this way, Karitha. Again, I don't agree with you, but just you articulating the way you are right now is helping gain some level of clarity, right? It is illuminating to me the the narrative that might be happening in your being, when that is not true, right? That is not what is true. You are capable of love at the very least, right? Love is true because if it wasn't, your parents wouldn't have come together. Your dad wouldn't have been willing to take care of you. You wouldn't be willing to take this next breath. So surely there is a certain level of love. That love might not be as deep as you want it to be, but that love remains true. And when we cloud, when we like pile on top of that love, all of these layers of, what we've done and how we are now undeserving of the love that is true, right? It's like being undeserving of the sunrise, right? What does that even mean? What does that even mean to be undeserving of the sunrise? All you have to do is show up and then you experience the sunrise. Right? That's how love, at least in my mind, is. It is not inaccessible to you, bro. The universe loves you like the sun shines light into your face. You just have to show up. That can be rude, but a valuable awakening. Did I miss a comment? Yeah, the standing in your way, exactly. The insensitivity, right? Tunes, hey, bless you, Tunes. Your capstone project going. I don't know if he's finished by now. I don't care much for myself or about the same length of time. But these humans in here see something in me, and I'll be damned to call them liars. Yeah, don't you dare, Duck Dad. You're a cool dude, though. And we love you. All of you friends, right? I want that to be clear. We might love you in different ways, right? We might love you from a distance, but you are loved. Because again, love in my mind can be defined in a few ways. Love is this presence, right? The fact that you exist, like consciousness. Then, love is focus. The fact that people in this space are willing to give you their attention, that I am willing to give you my attention. I wouldn't do that if there was no love in my heart, right? And then, love gives us the ability to endure. Love is the ability to endure, right? So, despite this difficulty you're facing right now, the fact that you are enduring is because of love. Literally got choked up by that. It's because of love. If there was no love, there would be no endurance. So, remind yourself thereof. You are here for love, dear friend. Everyone deserves love. There we go. Thank you, Shell, for reminding him as well. Glad at this point. Nobody wants that. Unironically, AFK, adore you too. Bless. There are parts of us we need to go to. The root parts need to be hugged and let them leave, melt in order to come closer to the true self. Yeah. And there are ways to do that, like ways that don't include psychedelics. It's just taking up a proper yoga practice and taking the effort to do some breath work. Maybe even do them at the same time. All right. And if you do that again for the next year, for the next 2 years, and you don't feel better psychically, spiritually, emotionally, if you won't feel like you haven't loved yourself, I would be surprised. I'd be shocked, right? I would be appalled. I wouldn't believe you because it wouldn't be true, right? If you showed up for a year doing yoga every day, you literally empirically loved yourself. Literally, right? That is a massive act of love, even though it might be forced sometimes. Sometimes you have to force yourself because your body wants to be stationary. Kortho, you've got to believe in where you're going and believe you're worth it, regardless of where you've been. You can get through it. Bless. I've been lurking but listening. You said the universe seems to favor Melt, but I can tell you exactly why I follow him. This is gonna be a lot, dude. When he first started streaming on Arpan, literally every time I popped in and made a comment, Melt would notice my username, look right into the camera, and greet me with joy. And if I haven't been on a while, he would say, Rabbit, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. How are you doing? And I felt so seen in a way that I really do, even in real life. He treated me like an old friend, but it wasn't performative. It was genuine. He remembers stuff about people and asks them about it, and completely engages with people in the comments. The atmosphere fostered with genuine friendship between the people in the commons as well. Wow. Thank you, Lavazana. It breaks my heart that, you know, I worry about not being able to do that as well, Lavazana. I've been having this conversation about like brain interfaces, right? That you just communicated. The fact that I try to remember what you say to me, and ask you about that, it is important to me. But I know that my biology, my human brain, unfortunately, does not have the capacity to remember as much as I would like to. So I will, empower myself technologically to remember even more, to be even more present, to be even more loving, to be even more kind to you, friends. Thank you, Lavazana. You maybe look into joining the Peace Corps. That would be hardcore. You would gain so much experience. Goodness. Oh, I had a friend who joined something similar to the Peace Corps. Surrounding yourself with a community of good energy is important in growth too. Our inner environment and outer environment balance. This is true. Doing service for others. When I actually did that, it took away my bad feelings. Didn't we talk about that today? There we go, back online again. Me and Max had that exact conversation today about like the process of having to write a CV and then send that CV to people and how it reduces you to like a few squibbles on a white page that is then supposed to define your value as a human being, right? And how technically what we ought to do as human beings is be in service of one another. But we have like, I want to say cuckolded ourselves, which is such a bad way to say it, with this money thing, like as a gatekeeper between us and the service. Mm-hmm. Personally, I just want to travel in life, make a family, and travel. Wow, that sounds very nice, Kartha. I don't conform to the standards of society. I don't enjoy reinforcing my stability with a slave wage. Too many jobs I would really enjoy. I didn't have anyone in my family I wish to care of. Didn't have anyone in my family I wish to take care of. Then I would not wish to give them the world, and I would skip the self-loathing part and just go travel. I would happily be homeless if I got to see the world, but in reality, I wish to give the same blessings I've received to those who deserve it, like my parents. I want to be able to retire them before I concern myself with my own dreams. Kartha, you cannot live someone else's life. John, please, bro. Sorry. Like it's been so many times. Like every time I look at my camera, bro, I get scarred a little bit. Because I thought if I didn't say anything it would get better, but it got worse. I was fighting, bro. Oh, I have patience. Doing it. So again, Kartha, like I had this conversation with Louise like yesterday as well. Like knowing thyself, right? Like it sounds nice to just travel and have a family as the thing you want to do with life. But there's not many jobs like that, right? And if you have a job like that, I would also like to have it. I would also like to travel and get paid for having family. That sounds lit. Maybe with universal basic income, that might end up being the way that it is, right? Maybe there'll be an incentive to mix human beings around. Not sexually, necessarily speaking, but just like experientially. Like like the exchange student vibes. Have like a whole, part of our population go to another country, have the conversations that need to be had there. I can see it becoming a program. So who knows? Who knows, Kartha? Keep manifesting, bro. Maybe your ideal job doesn't even exist right now. All right, and all you have to do is survive, keep breathing, keep drinking water and eating food and sleeping properly. Maybe do some yoga every now and then. And before you know it, bro, that ideal job of yours could exist. But if you stop right now, there's no hope of any change. I am exhausted. I am going to pull a card. It is time. Oh, lach je. Oh, ach je, is het s'nachts? Is het s'nachts, Jan? Is het lekker, lekker?
Is toch
Oh,
drama.
I resonate so deeply with you lovely ladies. I'm so happy to have found you here. I got lots of love for you, chosen fam, as we love you. There's Jan. We're gonna pull from this deck again today. This is the card I pulled for myself that night that we pulled card. I should pull a card for you too, technically, dude.
He was asleep.
He was asleep that night, yeah. But let's see.
Wake me asleep stop.
Hmm?
But then it's not, and it's past fiction.
Yeah, like it is very microscopy, bro. It feels like being looked at when you pull one of these cards. So I'll pull this one. Like we did share some brutal stuff today, so this is the card that's going to gain some allow us some insight. Keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient stand beside you.
Immortality.
Oh my goodness, you're right! The immortality fractal. Ancient dude. Thank you, John. Yeah. Yeah. Totally intentional. Scripted. It's scripted, yeah, exactly. Bro, I literally have felt multiple times that I pull cards that make it feel like this shit is scripted, dude. Like, I scripted the whole stream, and then I, like, squiggity pulled, like, a certain card where I'm like, bro, the amount of synchronicity feels palpable. Oh, this is what's happening. My interwebs has not been working. I don't know how many comments has been sent in the meanwhile. Oh, Zano says purple. I am missing a bunch. I'm gonna pull card. Ground Sparkle is here too. Bless you, friend. Let me just see. I'm not missing anybody's friend. Anybody's names. Like there's a lot of love being sent. I trust that it's true. Your mic is dead. Yes.
For how long?
Like hopefully like just now.
Do you hope?
Thank you. Thank you, Joy Vive. My mic is in fact dead. It ought to be charged. It is technically like now completely drained. Because I did pull it out of my case half full, unfortunately. Let me do like so. Maybe no kalimba for today in that case because we want to have proper input. It's not that gainy, bro. Like if you play it like this, you barely hear it on the screen. At least on the RPAN days we couldn't. Yes, I can hear him. His mic is still dead. Oh, good. So at least it doesn't mute me anymore. It used to like if my mic died, bro, I was just muted for X period of time. At least it now automatically switches to my outside microphone. Keepers of the earth. Look at them spirit animals. I asked you what your spirit animal was today as well, bro. There's like bunch of spirit animals around us. Some pumas and some erangfants, some eagles. There's some weird stuff as well happening. There's a grandma. I wonder if this lady becomes grandma.
There is purpose.
Is that what's happening? Or is it like it's the ancestors, right? That's actually what it is. This card is pretty trippy. Keepers of the earth.
Also a way to. Also a way to depict reincarnation.
It could be, bro, because both of them have flowers in their hair. And it goes like Earth, Moon, and then what looks like a new planetary body that is the lady in the middle. Look at that, you see? Like, this is like Mama Earth, Moon, reincarnating into this version of the self that you are. Keepers of the Earth, number 100. You are not alone. Let me bring this closer to get some more gain. You are not alone. You are supported. You do not stand alone. You have a magnificent team of helpers, both in the world and of the earth, who are here to help you every step of the way. Call upon them from assistance for assistance. They are here to help. The keepers of the earth acknowledge the work that you have done already and are ready to work through you. They bow at your feet and thank you for wanting to stand for them, to devote your life to protecting the earth in your unique way. It is time to increase your capacity to receive support in the physical realm. This can come in the form of financial abundance, acts of service, from strangers or people flocking to help you and your work. The only thing that is stopping you right now is your capacity to receive support. You deserve to be rewarded for your work that you are doing. You do not need to go at it alone. Call upon the keepers of the earth to help you and your mission. Open your heart and your mind to receive more than you ever thought possible. What kind of support do you need? Call it in right away. Hold this card to your heart and say, I'm open to receiving a whole new level of support for my life and my work, and I call it in now. Include any specific requests here. I want to call in support for John and his music. He wants to make his MIDI shoes. I ask for the support to help John make MIDI shoes, universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love is true. Me and John have been talking about these MIDI shoes he wants to make. He wants to make shoes that have built-in drum pads. Yeah.
And you can load your own.
And you can load your own samples, right? And then you can technically walk around on the beat, and you can like create doof, 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 tss, doof, tss, if you want to. And you can also just tap your foot if you want to. Yeah, don't steal our product ideas. But it is a good idea. It's just again, it's a technical nightmare.
I'll make one.
It makes one of them. Yeah, one is gonna be enough, bro. At least for a demo. Sorry, Thumb Stupid. Love is true. It's okay, JV. View. Can I view? It's not allowing me to. I dumb rhyme opportunity and I always have to entertain myself. Love is true. Thank you. Purple Planet, you're right, actually. I missed that one. Yeah, me either. Technical Fractal, they're desolated. Dumb rhyme. Love the drum shoe idea. Yeah, it's good. It's a good product idea. It's just going to be hard to do well. Right? And again, I feel like this is maybe this is something I said, yeah, like exactly. It's gonna be like a standards thing for me, bruh. Like my ego gets involved when standards step into the fray, bruh. Or I'm like, I cannot accept. I will not put my name close to something that's not up to some level of standard. That HD vibe, bruh. It needs to be so crystal clear. That's why it makes me cringe sometimes when the internet doesn't work, bro. I come through like mashed potatoes. Oh, like somebody tried to like paint a picture of mashed potatoes. Have some black colored mashed potatoes for here. Have some brown mashed potatoes for here. Drum shoes. That's very interesting. Yeah, let me check. There's no product like that yet. Right? So it can be done. And it would be a good idea. We'll make you a pair first. And then new friends can potentially help us, put it in the ether. Like we talked about that quilt more. Yeah, 100%. Thank you, friends, for all of the love-ins. I'm gonna say goodbye. I don't know if our goodbye message has been sent. I can auto-generate one. My algorithm has been tuned. Vandaag spot ons weer. Ek moet 'n AI is weer. We might be. You can just let me know if it will happen or not. I'm more than willing to go for it. I am technically going to have to reach for the front of the camera as well. Is this thing live again? It might be. Yeah. I have a quilt that my grandmother made me, Zano. I have a quilt that Merman's grandmother made me as well. Merman is one of the people that joined us from the Arpan days. He sent me a quilt that his granny made. like a 90 something year old lady, bro.
So
Quilted me something.
that's
With me and mine, like you showed me, you showed her my streams, dude, and she made me a quilt, though.
that's crazy.
It's so wholesome, bro.
Yeah.
Auto generate one. I haven't even begun. Thank you, show. I will auto generate one. Oh wow. We have Kristen sending one as well. Bless. Have the most delightful day, everyone. I wholeheartedly love you all so astonishingly, profoundly, miraculously, wondrously, affectionately, staggeringly, astonishingly, incredibly. People gonna think your internet froze. My AI is buffering right now. Wonderful, fantastic day, dear friends. I hope it is filled. There we go. Compassionately, lovingly, Mel. And all of you also inspiringly thoughtful, loving, understanding, incredibly uplifting, engaging, compassionate friends who consider the internet, AI, and immortality. Thank you, friends, for adding to this immortal experience that we had today. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. Love you, everybody.